Yeah, sorry, everybody. We are into part two of the holiday edition of TNZ. So you're going to see two uploads this evening. For those
We
of you,
should come out with a bang. What do you say we take our tops off?
you can. You're in better shape. All right. Okay, so Frank, so I'm just admitting Stomps into the room here, but you left off, you were talking about more fun and more competitive and stuff like that, right?
Yeah, so it's going to take a little bit of time. So I mean, the leagues are going to keep going kind of as they always have, and we're going to be making some changes over the next, really like months and a year. I mean, it's going to take a while, just because again, this is all, we all have our lives and stuff going on. We can only do this a little bit at a time, but we're gonna install some things a little bit here, a little bit there, and I think over time, I think people are going to really enjoy it and appreciate it. And I don't know what are the rules. So I really think it in the long run, it's just going to be a little better for everyone, and then hopefully we can translate that into kind of making the leagues more attractive and bringing in some more people.
That's great. That's great. So you think this is going to be a reality, right?
Well, yeah, that's the plan.
Okay, and then
I do
why
live in a
now?
fantasy world sometimes, but and
Yeah,
then some of the other things, and one thing I'd really like to hit on is the referees. I know that's a huge thing. It's on some in some ways, like, people don't think about the referees, and when they do, they're irritated. But really, like, the referees are so important to what we do, and we treat them terribly. And it's so hard to get good, consistent refs because we treat them terribly.
yeah.
Stomp's going to attest to that, and I know I've treated him terribly in a lot of them. But we all have to get better at this. In order for us to have like good leagues and the tournaments that we want to do, we need the referees there, and we need to, we need to support them. So yeah, if it's a playoff game or a championship game and you get a little hot, I think the refs can understand that. But week in and week in, game out, like, we do not treat those guys the way they should be treated.
Right.
And a lot of them, Stomps just started a couple of years ago. A lot of these guys just started reffing a couple of years ago, and we expected them to be great already. And just like players and everything else, there's a learning curve. It takes time.
Right.
And we need to be like understanding of that and appreciative of that. And you guys, I'm sure a lot of people here know that Sandro, who's part of our community, is now running he's the manager at the rink. We need to support him and the referees and the officials so that they can do a better job. So, like, if you have a problem with a referee, don't yell at him, don't complain, don't threaten his job. Take a couple days, think about it, and then say, hey, like, I think you could have done this better or that better. You do it in a positive and constructive way. All of our referees, they care. I mean, like, that's one thing that I know 100%. They all care. They want to do a good job. They want to call good games for us. And for us to treat them the way we do, it just isn't right.
Right.
So if there's anything that anyone takes away from this TNZ today, treat your referees better, support them. We need them, and they care in their job. They deserve a lot better than what they're getting.
Right. Well, I would
so
just
one of the things
yeah. Go ahead,
yeah.
Frank. You go ahead.
And then one final thing is, so like, we're trying to find a kind of like a head referee, someone to be in charge of the whole process, making sure that the refs are all supported and have the training that they need. And we've got 2 referees for every game. And if you do have a problem with the referee, there's a constructive, positive way you can talk to the head referee, and you guys can work through it over time. But and a lot of, like, we don't think about them, on the daily, but, like, it's as critical as having nets and balls and sticks. I mean, like, we got to have referees or we can't have games, and we all want good ones.
Sure.
So we can complain about one's icing or something like that, but or we could support them. So,
Right. And a lot of these guys,
so
these referees are teammates as well. So I mean,
right, yeah,
they sometimes, you know, I can imagine they feel disrespected, and then they got to play with you and go to battle with you in a game right after or next week. So these are your friends too, right? So there's got to be a little bit of that respect. Special shout out to Alex Marskinkowski. I think he's a newer ref. He did a great job for our team last week. Hey, Frank, what do you think about having a national referee appreciation day and then being rude to them for the rest of the year?
Isn't that the way? I think that's the American way.
Right? It's like, you know, birthdays, Mother's Day, Father's Day, like, you know.
So I bring that up because, you know, I know you have like the new league rules, and like a lot of the things that we're thinking about are not necessarily rules, but it's more like, you know, what makes the leagues actually better.
Right.
And foundational to that is the referees and supporting them, helping them get better,
Yeah.
making sure that they've got what they want. And again, like some of these other things, like, you know, having some fun prizes, making it more enjoyable. It's Monday night. Hey, you're looking forward to coming to the rink for whatever reason. It may be the competition, it may be the game, but it might be other stuff that's going on. So like, you know, what are the rules? There's a lot more to it than rules. It's kind of creating just like a fun atmosphere.
Yeah. Well, great.
And good competition and good rules. That's, you know, that's a big part of it.
Yeah. Well, okay. So that's good. That's good takeaways. Stomps, as a referee yourself, do you have any closing thoughts or comments? Do you totally disagree with Frank and you appreciate if people are rude to you? Like, what are your thoughts?
Toughen up, referees. That's my message to my fellow refs
Okay.
and myself.
We're not going to spend too much time here, actually. I think I kind of shared this slide just to, you know, maybe motivate the GMs on Wednesday. I think we started this thing almost a year and a half ago, and we still have 4 teams. What are 1 or 2 reasons, Frank, you see this Wednesday night league? While I think there's some really good things about it, why haven't we expanded?
You're trying to open a can of worms, are you?
In 60 seconds or less.
It's not easy to expand. You know, we did the draft, which is always difficult because, you know, people have to come to new teams and make new connections. And then once they get on a new team and make new connections, it's hard to break those again to build a 5th team. And so kind of everyone either has to be on board. We're just going to stick with the 4 teams and just make the teams what they are, or we kind of all have to be in agreement. We're gonna be willing to split things up to make a 5th team or a 6th team.
Right.
It's kind of pros and cons for both. It's different.
Yeah.
It just kind of depends on what's the will of the community.
Yeah. We had I had reached out for an interview with Billy Jacques about this. We're waiting to hear back from him. We want to get a response from him because he would have a lot to say about this Wednesday league. So I hope his agent will get back to us. Okay, so let's move. Let's keep moving here. This picture probably gives you a pretty good description of how the Masters guys look, right? This guy's probably a little younger than most of us guys, but Frank, tell us what's going on with the Masters League and what's coming up and the practices. I think you started off pretty good. We're going to resume some of those, and we're getting ready for Pottstown.
Yeah, you know, we had a couple of practices earlier, September, maybe even into October. We'll have to see. You know, it's always hard with the holidays and everything. So, you know, we'll probably resume in January, running some practices. Again, it's it's kind of the, what does the group want to do? There's enough people, good hockey players, to build 2 teams for Pottstown. That's the big tournament.
Yeah.
But once you get to the second team, it's always a problem. Do you have balanced teams? Do you have an A or B team? So I think the right way to do it is to have an A and a B team. So you obviously have one team that's kind of, like what gives you the best chance to win. And then, but then the guys who aren't on that team, they're always, it's difficult, like, do you want to go to a tournament for the experience and for playing tournament hockey when it's going to be pretty tough to win. And it's really just up to the guys. So that's the way we're going to run it this year. We're going to have an A team. We're going to put our best foot forward and really try and win the tournament. I would love to see a second team. To me, like, I mean, I've played in probably 100 tournaments and I've only won a handful.
Yeah.
And even the ones I knew I wasn't going to win, I still loved it, so, but not everyone feels that way. So the tournament, the Pottstown, that's the North American Master National Champions. That'll be April 5th through 7th. So we will have a G Club team for that. Maybe 2. We'll see how that goes. I'd still like to start a Masters League. I think that's the right way to go. Having a 40 plus, maybe even a 35 plus. There's definitely enough players to build 4 teams. And I think that's the way we should be going. And I'll probably try again. I tried last year and didn't get a good reception, but I'll keep trying. We'll try again this year. It only makes sense, like, you want to play with guys at your skill level, at your age level. So we'll try again, and hopefully it works out this year.
That's great. And listen, have you initiated any discussions, negotiations with any potential coaches?
Are you asking? Are you volunteering? You're in.
No, I remember, I think we were talking about some of the more successful teams and them having coaches. I think you mentioned that after last tournament.
I mean, again, that's the same thing. We definitely should have a coach, and that's like any tournament team. You go to the tournaments and the teams that win generally have coaches, have people helping out the players, supporting the players, as simple as giving them water or making sure they got what they need, making sure that the lines run. Our community has always been a little bit different. It's hard to get people to want to do that job. And it's hard to get the people to listen to those guys. So I'm telling you, if you want to be the Masters coach, please do it. We need it.
Yeah.
I mean, it makes a difference, like, everybody wants to be the star player. They want to be the first line, on the penalty kill and power play and doing all that. But when it comes to winning, having first, second, third liners, having coaches and helpers and assistants, every single person matters and contributes and is important to winning. And we just need people to accept that.
Good. Well, thanks for the update. Stomps, tell us a little bit about what's going on this weekend.
Yeah, so the Iowa Winter Tournament is this weekend in Davenport, same location as the summer. I was fortunate enough to be asked to play on a team because my salary cap happened to work for the team. So I'm going out there with the Knights, Chicago Knights. We have Martin Landowski leading the charge, Stevie J, Sean Frick, Pat, I don't have his last name, so I apologize, but he used to play at Palatine at one point, and then I think he moved up to the Milwaukee area. So he's not local anymore, but he's joining us. And myself, it's only 5 runners and a goaltender. We've got Dave Schmiel. Dave has really excelled in the small rink 3-on-3 in Glencoe, winning championships and going to finals. So we haven't played together, right? Really, I mean, we had a couple weekends or a couple of Fridays ago, we scrimmaged in Des Plaines with Jet Temple and a bunch of those other guys. Some of the guys you would know, Kevin Contreras was there, Dave Wagner and some others. And so we played a little bit together, but I feel kind of good about it. I mean, we got enough speed on the team, and I can stand in front of the net, get some garbage goals, and see what happens. But we'll see. If the weather holds, that's always a big factor, I guess, in this thing. I haven't played the winter one, but it was sold out. They're doing 3 divisions: D1, D3, and D5. So starts tomorrow through Sunday. So we'll report back, and hopefully we'll see if we can get Chicago a winner. We got some other Chicago teams going. John Hagen, his crew, Hagen Deck Hockey, HDH. I think you should call it Hagen Inc. With his sons, Ray and Andreas, and might be another son even in there. But he's just a factory of deck hockey players. But and I don't know what other teams are. I think the Snipers, are bringing a couple of teams. I want to say they're. I'm not sure if they're playing as high up as D1, but they had a pretty good team, their top team, going over there. So we'll see what happens. Should be fun.
Frank, are you participating in that?
I am not.
Okay.
It's too cold for me.
It will be cold there, for sure. Well, Stumps, when's your first game?
Saturday at 10:30. Yeah.
Well, good luck.
So I have 3 on Saturday. But these are short games. These are 2 10-minute periods. So you got to start quick, get a lead. I would think, right? It would help. So it'll be interesting. The Iowa guys are always tough. So we'll be ready. It's going to be fun.
Awesome. Well, good luck to you out there. So Legends Hockey, it's back for, what is this, 10th anniversary, Frank?
Number 9.
9?
Number 9. Yeah, 9th year. Can you believe it?
Wow. Amazing. So tell us when that's happening. Tell us what you expect, and tell us why you won't be there.
So January 12th through 14th. So it's MLK weekend, same it's been pretty much every year. We have 3 divisions: the Open, the Rec A and B, and looks like there's going to be 6 teams in each division. Pretty good competition. We created a new format last year that I think worked pretty well, kind of combining the NBHL stats or system with the National Deck Hockey Association system to create basically salary cap rules, and I think that works pretty well. So I won't be there this week. This very, very sad. After all these years, I won't be there.
Right.
So my son will be in Minnesota for an ice hockey tournament, and I will be with him. So I love my boat hockey, but family comes first. We do have a good team of guys that are going to be running this thing. So it should, as far as the tournament goes and what you guys see, you won't miss me for sure. I will miss it, but you guys won't miss me.
Well, it's always a great tournament, and the vibe is always good, and you bring a lot of out of town teams, and it's a great tournament. So congrats on getting set for. You're still going to be doing all the work, getting ready for it, right?
Oh yeah, I'll have everything prepared and ready to go ahead of time.
Good stuff. I wish you the best there. Listen, we got a couple of injury updates to close. So it's an undisclosed injury for Chris Landowski, Chelly. Does anyone know about his injury?
I believe it's GS, which is general soreness.
I think this is a Corey Perry situation. I'm not sure what I'm allowed to disclose.
Well-
He may be seeking substance abuse
Wow.
or not. No, I'm not sure what it is, but
Yeah. Well,
he's got to get back soon.
yeah, we need that guy back. We need him to rest and get ready. Gerard, Stumps, what's going on with Gerard?
Well, I see you didn't. I probably should have seen these slides ahead of time, so I could have fixed the way you spelled his last name. But Gerard hurt his shoulder at Woodridge, taking a slam shot from his own end that he ended up scoring on, and he ended up. I think he injured his rotator cuff in his shoulder. I know it's a shoulder injury for sure. And it's interesting because his good old friend, John Trapani, who hurt his shoulder at the summer Iowa tournament, and then it ends up turning out that Gerard has missed more time than John, I think, with his shoulder injury.
Wow.
So
I think it's sympathy pains.
could be.
Well, get well, Gerard. Get
Yeah,
well.
he's got time to recuperate now since Woodridge is shut down anyway. So
And then obviously to the right over here, we have Danielle, who has an injury. She sustained a torn ACL and a torn meniscus. So she should be out for some extended period of time. So we wish her a speedy recovery. There's probably some more people that are not shown on this injury update, and I apologize for that.
oh yeah, I gotta mention because he's still mentally injured is Sandro, who let me have it at the golf tournament, the Bearcats Toros golf tournament, because we did an episode of TNZ and we went through the injuries and we failed to talk about his boo-boo on his knee. So now we've mentioned it. Sandro hopefully feels better.
Well, thanks for highlighting.
He's not playing though, is he? Is he going to play? Do you know, Frank? I mean, is he available to play when he runs?
I think he's close to coming back. Yeah,
but he's going to do that even though he's in charge of the facility, and so he's going to double duty like that.
Yeah, why not?
Yeah, I guess.
Yeah, good. Well, wish all three of them a speedy recovery. So we're gonna close out here with a culinary corner. A couple of very good restaurants that I just wanted to. I don't think we've highlighted any of these, but Stubbs, I'm gonna have you take it away with these three because you've been to all of these three.
I have not been to Pequod's.
Really?
I have not. I have not sampled their pizza.
I got a Gene and Jude stories.
Well, I was just at Gene and Jude's a couple of weeks ago, and the thing that stands out is the prices are. I mean, because Gene and Jude's was always known for like really down and dirty, cheap Chicago food, and now it's a lot higher, like everything else, I guess. But I got in there. It was great timing because I got in there, got through the line, which wasn't that long, got my food, and then one of those gigantic party buses showed up, and it emptied out, and it was the most insane zoo it's ever been in that place that I can ever remember. So, but Gene and Jude's, my son is a huge fan of Gene and Jude's, and he lives in Oklahoma now, so he's very sad that he misses his Gene and Jude's. But I mean, it's been there forever. It's the Depression hot dog, Chicago dog that was created many decades ago. It was kind of close to the old neighborhood, so we were always over there.
Yeah,
I don't get there too often anymore, but once in a while.
Gene and Jude's was right down the street from where I grew up, and so like you said, down and dirty. It used to be 75 cents, and then it was $1, and we went in one time, and it was like $1, but then we had to pay $1.26 because whatever government agency mandated that they had to start charging tax. Like it used to be like the sign said 75 cents and it was 75 cents. But then at some point they had to start charging tax. So we're in there one day and it's like, well, why is it $1.21 or whatever the hell it was? And the guy lost his mind because we must have been like the 500th person that asked him that day, like why they were now charging tax.
Yeah.
And he went into this whole thing about the government and tax and he yelled at us and we are like, okay, sorry.
You still go there, Frank?
It's been a while, but yeah, I try and get out there at least once or twice a year. I used to eat there once or twice a week when I was a kid. I mean, like, that was awesome.
Stomps, it's very remorseful that you haven't been to Pequod's. There's 2 locations. There's one in Chicago, and I think there's one in Morton Grove. Frank, have you been to Pequod's?
Never been to Pequod's. I hear good things. I'm not a big deep dish guy, though.
Oh, well, I'll tell you, I don't think he's a viewer of the show, which is going to have to change, but Moose is the guy who told me about Pequod's.
Oh, yeah, they're famous. There's no doubt, but
yeah.
Isn't their claim to fame it's like the crust is cheese?
It's caramelized crust. That's what it is.
Caramelized crust?
Yeah.
Oh.
It's delicious, man. It's great pizza.
Yeah, we got to get there.
But Stomps, you probably would make a huge endorsement for the one on the bottom right there. I know that's your favorite place.
So Johnny's, first of all, Johnny's beef, to me, the true Johnny's beef is on North Avenue in Elmwood Park.
yes.
Used to go there all the time as a youth. Get in that line. And I remember the one guy who would always, I don't know if he was the owner or just the manager, but he would take the orders and he had this interesting list. But anyway, he was, so we used to, of course, we were young, so we make fun. But no, their claim to fame is really good beef sandwiches and Italian ice. I know when people think of Italian beef, Portillo's and Buena or whatever. Yeah. Johnny's is outstanding. Now you've gone with me to the location in Arlington Heights, which is not too far from Palatine. It's about a 15-minute drive, maybe. Yeah, and you claim that you feel like it's an unsafe environment there.
Yeah, I just don't feel safe there. I feel like something bad's going to happen there.
Is it the clientele that come through the doors there?
I don't want to say anything. We're on public television here. I don't know.
Oh, I mean, it's in Arlington Heights. It's fine. I go there.
Yeah.
Every so often after a Palatine thing and game.
Right.
And it's good. The guys there are great. That's a well-oiled machine.
Right.
I mean, you order, literally have your food within a minute. It's really insane, but
food's delicious. Look, Gene and Jude's, Pequod's, and Johnny's. I encourage anybody who hasn't been to any of these fine establishments to pay them a visit and enjoy their amazing culinary options. Gene and Jude's obviously known for hot dogs. Pequod's known for pizza, and then I'd say Johnny's is known for the beef sandwich, right, Stomps?
Yeah, definitely. Most definitely.
Hey, Frank, before I forget, what was the restaurant you went to tonight? Ella's. Ella's. How many beers did you have?
New place.
Is it in Elmhurst?
It is, yeah. Right next to Armand's. Used to be called Beerhead, and they just remodeled it and made a new restaurant.
But you said it's an Italian place, right?
It is.
Okay.
Well, Stomps, we got to check that place out.
Yeah.
Ellis. Okay. Listen, today you tuned in to season 3, episode 4 of the Neutral Zone. I want to apologize to the viewers for the break in the action due to Stevie J's inability.
Nobody's watching any of it now, Nev.
So you don't think
when they saw my ugly mug, they turned it off.
Are you suggesting we shouldn't have a part 3?
Yeah.
So,
I'm ready to keep going.
Yeah, same here. Well, thank you very much for tuning in. Can you guys? We're gonna make this 2-part episode available to you. I'll be sending out the YouTube links. But for those of you who have yet to subscribe and like, can you please do so? That might help us with some of our finances, as we're trying to bring to you the number one hockey podcast in North America. I might even argue the world, for all of you to enjoy. But we need your support. So if you could subscribe, that would be great. I want to thank our esteemed guest today, Frank Klein, to talk to us about a whole array of topics. I think you gave us answers. If anybody didn't get answers, please just reach out to Frank. Stomps and my number are both unlisted, but you can find Frank. He posts his email address and his cell phone everywhere he gets an opportunity. Frank, thank you very much. I know you did this while you were inebriated, and we appreciate that.
Yeah, I'm surprised you didn't ask me any questions like, what do I think of this guy or that guy? And I would have told you the truth tonight, but you missed your chance.
Yeah, well, we need to keep those viewers coming in. Maybe when we get more than 200 subscribers, we'll start to do that. So everybody, please like and subscribe. Stomps, any closing comments as my esteemed co-host you'd like to
Could
share?
I take 2 minutes to just go through some of the ancillary leagues around town, what's
Sure.
going on?
Go for it.
Just real quick, I mean, so Glencoe is down for the winter, coming back in the spring, of course. So it was another, good session in the fall. North Stars won the D4, led by, again, Mr. Schmiel, and then they lost in the finals in the D2. I don't know who all those teams are, so. You got Woodridge is shut down for the season. It's kind of interesting. I talked to some of the guys at Woodridge, and the management does a great job. We know that, right? They make sure we have access to good hockey for free and take care of the nets and do all that stuff. It was interesting because it was kind of a down year, I think, because I play more games than anybody else does at Woodridge because I'm nuts and it's close to my house and everything else. But just to give you an idea, I played 49 games in 2022 at Woodridge. I only played 32 this year. So there was a lot of we couldn't get second games because the interest wasn't there. So some people have said, hey, there's so many hockey options around town that there was some hockey fatigue. I don't know how true that is, but maybe. Now, I know Steve Fiorito's trying to drum up interest for a Sunday league in Aurora at an indoor facility. So if anybody's interested, go to the Hockey Monsters app and respond to his post in the news section, or shoot us an email or whatever. Just trying to get 4 teams, see if we can have a little league to carry us over the winter. And I think Carroll Stream will probably be starting back up in January. So that'll be another opportunity for people. I think that's all of it that I was thinking about.
Right. I just want to congratulate the Monday night champions, the Gentlemen's Club, for winning in Palatine in the last session, and then Dynamo winning their second championship. Actually, it might be it's second on the Wednesday night league. So congrats to both those great franchises. Thanks a lot, Stomps. Any other leagues? Are you good?
None other than I can think of.
Excellent. Frank, you still awake?
What's that?
All right, everybody. Thanks for tuning in. I'm going to stop the recording. Stomps and Frank, just stay on for a moment.
Dave, I got to ask you a quick question.
Sure, go ahead.
So because of the part episode tonight, does that mean is it going to be 2 separate links?
Yeah, I'm gonna break them into 2 parts. Where we broke was when Frank started talking about the new rules. So part 1 will go up into the new rules, and then part 2 will start in the middle of the new rules, and then right to this point where we're at right now.
If you're able, I don't know if you have the ability to name the file or whatever, but I would put, if you could, part 1 and part 2 and each, just so people don't watch them out of order or whatever.
Yeah, I'm gonna send it. I'm gonna do it that way as well. Stomps and Frank, just stay momentarily. I'm gonna stop the recording. Thanks everybody for tuning in.